Hey y'all, it's me. It's like 10 o'clock. It's Monday night, which is my Sunday night. So sorry if I look like I'm tired. It's because I am. But I wanted to upload this video because I wanted to keep it a habit in my mind to keep the cadence. So generally I keep a kind of plate of thought in my head, and then I want to take that and vocalize it and upload it so it's saved in its digital format. It's gonna let me go back and look at stuff. Hopefully, if there's people out there, you guys can see this video, pick up on it, draw what you like, what you find interesting, and maybe we can get a conversation going. But it also is like a virtual journal. It allows me to get my thoughts out so that I can sort of cache my browser and revamp what I want to think about for the week. So what I've been thinking about this week is kind of mostly just revolves around what I've been reading. So I'm reading 3 really good books right now. So I'm rereading 2, and one was recommended to me by a friend of mine. I am rereading Atlas Shrugged. It's so much better the second time around. I'm picking up a whole lot more. And I reread On the Nature of Things by Lucretius, which is one of my favorite epic poems, especially book 1. And that one was actually an audiobook, so it was read to me by a Victorian kind of sounding person. So it's just like added to the class, and I think because of that, I retained a little bit more the second time around. So yeah, so those 2 books, and then the third one is some of the work of William James. I'm reading his book on pragmatism, which is really, I guess, really what's driving this video today. So earlier last week, I was fucking with a colleague of mine. So I do insurance, and I have no degree from college. I have a high school degree, but I don't have any college degree. I don't have any intention of ever getting one. I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to, if insurance doesn't work for whatever reason, I start pursuing another career, I'll just like remain an entrepreneur and just find a way to provide for myself in that way. Oh, sorry. But many people in my industry do have degrees, whether those degrees are in like communications or business management or like an MBA or something like that. I don't have any degree. So I do have a colleague who has a degree in philosophy, and I really enjoy working with the dude. Super smart guy, great attitude, great work ethic, really fun to be around. He's like uplifting, and so many of our ideas are conflicting. But what makes it like interesting to me is we agree on many of the subtleties. So, sort of just to screw with him. So just to preface it, I really enjoy working with the guy. Just to screw with him, I brought up Ayn Rand because he's a big time Kantian fan. He loves Kant. And so, like, the look of appall washed over his face. Just when I told him I was rereading Atlas Shrugged, I'm like, it's so good. And then I just watch his face kind of mold like, okay. Yeah, it was really fun. So just to screw them. And then, and that got me thinking. So I love Kant. I think dude is so sharp. So if I'm going to pick my favorite philosophers, I'm going to pick my top 3. I'm going to pick Nietzsche. Bam, number 1, easy. I'm also pretty partial to Hume, who I'm just getting introduced to now. And it's hard to say, but like, I couldn't pick. I couldn't pick between, I'm going to say Aristotle. Those are my top 3. And then, like, tied for 4th is going to be Kant / Ayn Rand, which seems like a weird dynamic because they're so diametrically opposed. I would argue, though, that they're not. Like, I think that they're very closely related. I've been reading up on something called the correspondence theory of truth, where that truth is going to reflect a fact about reality. And that is wherein you're going to find truth. And it seems pretty like, duh, like, where else are you going to find truth? Here's where I think you find it. I think truth is found in how it relates to your reality. I think fundamentally, we're beings of experience. And so we're going to draw from our experience. in order to sort of interpret wherein reality lies. So reality, I mean that's pretty general, right? That's pretty overly generalized. So I don't think like reality is this thing that you can just sort of make up your own reality. I think Ayn Rand said it. Like you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. So I would fully agree with that. Honestly, I think it comes down to something like, I think it's so simple. And maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't know. Psychologically, I could be like totally in error, but for a variety of psychological reasons, I think I'm pretty accurate here. I think if you're a person of temperance, you're going to be drawn towards a more Kantian school of thought. And if you're a person of indulgence, you're going to be drawn more towards a Randian school of thought. I think it's pretty much that simple. Your values and the character that you develop is going to reflect what kind of ideas you begin to associate with as your brain develops and as you're able to kind of garner and develop and sort of reason and grow your capacity to reason. That's just going to reflect on the character within. So, honestly, I think both Rand and Kant are right. Epistemologically, I think Kant's quite a bit more accurate. But to any kind of practical approach, I think Rand is quite a bit more useful. Which again might sound like completely like duh, but what I mean is Kant defines this nominal realm that you're never going to be able to associate with, and then develops a series of ethics that sort of relate to that place, wherein Rand throws that outright, in that the nominal realm is completely unperceived by our sense data, or unperceived by our experiences through our perceptions, through our sense data. I'm kind of rambling at this point. But Rand would throw out the nominal realm in that we don't see it. So what's the point in developing theories based off of it? We don't associate it. We're never going to know it. So I think Rand is great when you want to develop a more material-rich lifestyle, which I don't think there's anything wrong with. Rand has some phenomenal ideas. And if you're looking to harness maybe a little self-control in your emotions, Kant is also great. I'm going to end this video with one thought. So whichever approach you want to do, in fact, there's an infinite amount of other theories that you could develop, being neither objectivism nor Kantianism. Whatever direction you go with, I would advise to start with taking out morality, taking out the it's not consequentialist, and it's not transcendental, and there's not a universal good. I would say start there, and that's it. That's all. I'm not going to prove it. I think morality is essentially a psychological abstract, and so it gets in the way of being able to develop your ideas from a character sense, from your innate sort of acting sense, the who you are willing about, the molecules in your body, who you are. Morality sort of poisons that, and it's like an addicting idea when you begin to associate ideas as transcendentally good. It poisons, man. There's a pretty neat paper by, I think his name is Nicholas Nassam. It's called The Black Swan of Cairo, and it talks about the artificial suppression of volatility. And I think about it a lot, in that morality, I think, is just this overall, like, general swath of artificial suppression. And so I would suggest people stay away from morality and develop ideas from that standpoint. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, leave a video response. Tell me how great my beard is. Tell me that I look like a slob for lying on my bed. Whatever you want. But I've gotta end the video so that I can upload this. You guys are great.